All right, a very good morning, good afternoon, good night, depending where you're watching us from. We are very blessed that still God has still given us life. You see, in most cases, there are people, when you look at them walking, jumping, smiling, others are there suffering. But in actual sense, it is by God's grace that we are still surviving.
We are alive.
Because if it wasn't God, we wouldn't be there.
Yes.
I know of late you've lost this gentleman, the Aga Khan.
Yeah.
He has been a real tycoon in entire East African community.
It's attached.
So we ask ourselves, why we that are still breathing, and yet the important people than us, they're also gone away. We normally say that by God's will be upon us. I'm here with Mr. Kajangwa away from Nairobi. The youth diaspora leader.
Yes.
Are you in diaspora in Uganda now?
That's why it's big. Uganda, UK, up to South Africa.
Everywhere.
Across Africa, the world.
Can you first greet us in our local language? It's very important.
Jebali Basebo, Saja Wakabaka, Felix. I'm live today.
Yes.
With my friend, BBC Africa, Mosean Media, Making Africa Great. We give you all the news from South Africa, Nairobi, Dubai, and UK. Everywhere.
Yes, so today we shall have our different languages. We shall try to mix in Swahili. Sasa mimi najua Swahili kidogo kidogo. Sitaka tuongeze Swahili. Swahili liko ya East Africa. Si ndio?
Mimi nimezaliwa Mombasani bana.
Sasa
toka huko pwani, it means I come from Mombasa. Ile lugha ya Mombasa sema mimi mzaliwa Mombasa. Kwa kinadija. Kuna bazangu wa Itagosti. Hao ndio wale.
Sawa. Sawa. Sasa na mimi leo nataka niongee Swahili kidogo kidogo. Tutakiliziganye, I don't know what. Tutapanda sana kidogo kidogo. All right, that's it. So today we're going to discuss different issues that are cutting across East Africa and Africa at large. You know, of late we have this sort of East African community where we are seeing Congo, Rwanda, totally people are dying, people are suffering, and the one we call the tycoons of East Africa, they've not even come across to say something about this. And it's touch a moment in entire this region. Because if it is in the Congo and it goes direct to Rwanda, at the end of the day, it's likely to be in Uganda, where we are today. And this means we have to raise our voices such that the tycoons of East Africa may rise up to help our nation grow. It is believed that this gentleman of Uganda, President Museveni, is among the key fish that we have around.
Yes.
But the fish is not talking, it's just swallowing the small ones.
It's keeping quiet.
Why is he keeping quiet? And why do you think, what would be the best way East African to raise their voice to stop the war which is in East Africa, especially Congo and Rwanda? To me, in my own view, it's likely to end from here. Because it's believed that before Amini died, we are demanding, Congo was demanding us. We are, Rwanda itself, they have some grudges. In your personal view, where do you see us? Hand over the microphone to you.
Thank you, my friend. I think this issue have touched so many East Africa, even Africa as large, not even Africa, even the world. And the history which is there, and some of you might not be versed with this. I think when Laurent Kabila was scaling to be the president, it's Allah who helped him to seize the power. I think Mzee gave him maximum support to make sure he seizes the power. The same to the Rwandan president, Kagame. Those are the people put a lot of resources and put a lot of
effort,
strategic, political ideology to make sure Laurent seized to power. And I think there was a mutual agreement between the Mzee and the Kabila, which was never fulfilled. And this comes with a lot of interest, which some people might not understand. Formerly, the major causes of the conflict in Congo must be formally how it was defined sometimes back. There was a lot of corruption which was going on in Congo. I think this one was attaching the allies of the law in Kabila, which was never solved, but he was using his mandate and command his army to make sure they seize at the apex level, to make they neutralize what the local Mwananchi was trying to echo about. And this came about the issue of corruption and about the ethnicity. The so many people were divided. So it was being ethnic, it was ethnical driven. I think you get. And then also the issue of the existence of the natural resources, which was not in balance. This causes a lot of impact, and has been steering a lot of the conflict that has been going. And this one indirectly, some of the West Africa countries, you know very well, have a very, very great mutual interest. And this might be this conflict we are seeing. Some people have upper hand, and we might not know. Coming, that Mzee has kept quiet than the Rwanda, Paul Kagame, and I think Mzee has taken his side, and this is also an alarm to the East and Central Africa community to come out with a mutual dialogue to make sure we get away. We echo the grievances and come up in a round table, make sure these things are brought, the grievances which are making people to keep on fighting, keep on killing. Every night, like last night, about 5 were killed, I think. And nobody is giving us the actual. Many people have been killed, but what the media portray, many people are dying every day.
Okay. You know, however much these people are dying too much in entire East Africa, I believe that Ugandans are there also dying. Rwandese are also dying. Congolese are dying. And Kenya is also dying. But do you think this the East African community, is this still active? Do they function if we have the East African, I should call maybe objectives of East Africa? Do they think they are practicing them, or this war is for individuals' interest, not the entire nation interest?
The East Africa have been very, very dormant, if I like to use that word. They are very dormant. They have not taken a step to come in and make sure they bring the grievances on the table, or the problems on the table. And you see, Congo is there are so many allies living in Congo, not only the Congolese are fighting. If they fight, the conflict comes with a lot of impacts. It will affect the Kenyans, it will affect the Uganda. And now, I see this East Africa, or the Eastern community, they are not geared to make sure the grievances are put on the table. I think being driven indirectly, some allies are funding some of these major apex leaders of the community. That's why they are keeping quiet. They also have some interest, and the leakage which must be there. I don't want to be put in somewhere where you cannot see me. But I believe what I can ask them, let them drum their support to make sure the Lawrence and the allies and the armed forces give out the virtual and what they think will bring the neutral peace in Congo, because this is all going to affect us. And majorly the youths, I think majorly the people who are dying as well are the youth. And around the 60 to 70% of the Congolese population is comprised of the youth. So I think this is very virtual. I think they need to step up.
Okay. And that one's very true. So guys who are watching us, wherever watching us from, we are still with Felix Kajangwa, away from Nairobi, Kenya, anatoka Mombasa. Sasa leo iko hapo tunaongea Swahili, tunaongea that one
Swahili kidogo. Tukiendelea hii mambo ya Kongo, hii vita endelea kwa Kongo, tatizo iko Kongo. Itatatua haje kama sisi wenye waka hapa Kenya na wenye waka hapa Uganda, wenye waka
sawa. Those who can't understand, just call me when you're watching. I will interpret for you. I will need to interpret for them. And by the way, we note since it's called the flashlight, we flash the entire world in all versions. We may flash you in our local language, English version, and things of that kind. So for that reason, we appreciate. Thank you very much for watching us. For watching us from we are still discussing the incidences that are taking place in East African region. And East African region, you know, when Congo, they are crying, Uganda are crying. Because we may be serving them GNATs, they serve us bean. If they are good at Sombi, we are good at ABCD. Me particularly, I love Sombi, which is basically best those Congolese. They tell me to do it. But leave that on aside. East African community is Uganda. We have West Africa as well.
Yes.
But we've not seen the entire people reacting. We've not seen UN calling the entire meeting and things of that kind. And that's why we are here. You who's watching us and who's listening to us, what is your view? What's that you think that should have been done in Congo, especially now? And that's why we're here with Mr. Kajangwa Felix, a youth leader, from the diaspora leader from Kenya. Yes. So we are still discussing some issues. Mr. Felix,
yes.
You as a person, in case if you're given a chance to have the dialogue of peace talking, what is that you think you may talk about and see Kenya, Rwanda, Congo stabilizes the region?
Given time or being in one of the committee called to make sure we levelize and do away with this, what is going on in Congo. First, I want everyone to understand, wherever you are watching, Congo over the decade years, there are a lot of issues which have been going to Congo. Congo itself, their experience are very, around 80% of the people in Congo are going through hunger. This means Congo have not initiated the agricultural sector mode of making sure the food availability is available to them. Number two, what has been there, I think it will calm and it might come back. I want you to everybody to sing about this. The availability of natural resources. And this one we might see it here, but it is coming from very far. And those who have interest in these natural resources are many, if I will tell my friend. And you may think it is something which is motivated locally, but it is motivated internationally. If I give an example, what has been done in Sudan, you know what happened. We thought the Sudanese fighting themselves, Kumbe, there was intermediator funding and make sure they disable the economy. I'm just saying this, I don't want to be put in the room, my friend.
Yes, we put a disclaimer. We are discussing intellectual issues.
Yes.
You're trying to
So what I'm trying to say, beside what is going on, there's a third party coming in indirect, have what we call self-interest in these natural resources. That one you can take it to Citibank or Centenary Bank, I can assure you. So give him a chance. How do we come up with a strategy and legitimacy, clear rules of governing these resources? How do we come up to do away with ethnic war, which has always been there? If these resources are centralized at a certain seat and other communities are feeling they are left out, I think this is also a factor, divide rule. I think if this is all the resources, major resources are centralized one of the city and other Congo is big, or the central part or the northern part, really they are left. And there is no percentage allocated to various region. I think this will always, it will come back. Yes. So those are the things we need to bring up on the table. And I will beg the Right Honorable Mzee to come up with a very strategic strategy to make sure these issues are brought on the table. And I don't want him to be keeping quiet over this, but not only him, because we need a combined force which will help us to come out with a very vital solution to make sure this is settled at all.
I'm getting your point.
Yes.
But do you believe that the East Africa and the tycoons, they have, do you think, I'm using the word do you think, those that don't misquote him, do you think the Museveni regime, the Kenyan regime, Rwanda regime, and the other parties that are surrounding us, they have interest in this war? in terms of economic growth and development?
In terms of economic growth, even me, I think I'll call myself a self-proclaimed billionaire, and for God's sake, because God give me life to live, I'll also step my side in Congo and I see how I can get and come up with some gold medal, and we go to Mombasa and do a very serious business. Okay, all in all, what I'm saying, everybody have an interest, because when we were talking about when Laurent was coming up to be the president, he was being supported, and there was some mutual agreement which was signed behind the curtain, and this one might also make some of us to keep quiet.
Okay, so because basically what you're thinking is they may like to be having some interest.
Yeah. We are all human beings. Yeah.
But you can't be human being on somebody's resources and think you.
We are in Africa. Is Africa?
What does Africa? So Africa, our things are always radical and things of that kind.
What kind of interest do you think an Africa will always have? That's a question you can ask me.
Okay. So, and that's it. Yeah, we are still moving on slow but sure with Mr. Felix, youth leader from the Private from Kenya. Those would love to know about his details. He'll talk about what's the end of the program. You will know who is Mr. Felix and what does he do and why is he here and the reason of things of that kind. Now, leaving other factors constant, me, I'm advising my Ugandans who are in Congo, who are in wherever you are, just come back home to avoid issues.
I don't think, because over 9 countries' troops have been there, basically to make sure we level us and keep security. This one is coming with the interest to protect the Ugandans living in Congo, Kenyans living in Congo. I mean, and if you set on this, make sure that everything there's security, because as for now, what is the most important is we invest much in security in Congo too, because there are so many Uganda who are invested and their businesses that the negative impact which this is going to cause to East Africa and even the economy of Uganda, economy of Kenya, economy of Rwanda. So as for now, we pray for the peace and let the East and Central community come up with a stronger idea and make sure security is prevail. And like the 9 troops which has been in Congo, making the security there, that's what we need. And beyond that, the Laurent troops and the Mzee's allies, the friends, East Africa, the Kagame's friends, we just need to come up and have some mutual agreement.
We'll give that chance.
That's my prayer and plea as an African child and an East African child as well.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. You're still pushing it on. And we are summarizing about the Congo versus Rwanda. Do you think, because of what Kagame said, President Kagame, you know these guys are here, Museveni, is it called the President Kagame, President Museveni? So this thing they confuse me. But I know Kagame was the chief spy of this country during the Kosovo War.
That's why when you were starting, I told you, Kabila himself knows where the button is. Get it? He knows where the button is, and he knows where to stop it, and he knows where it will end. You all have it.
Okay.
And a lot was invested. You remember when the Laurent coming up to seize to power, so many stories were there, and so many resources were invested. You know that? And what was the payback? This is the question you should be asking yourself. What was agreed? It was not on paper, but I think this agreement which I said behind the curtain, I'm going to make sure your interest is served in my country. I will make sure I protect your people. I'll make sure all your businesses also we do a mutual business to support me and support you. And if this were not implemented,
no.
Now we know.
Okay. As a surprising Congo saga, of late, we understand that around 5 Ugandans also died, around 10 Rwandese died, around I don't know how many people from Congo are dying every day. So it is my concern, me and you, for us to raise our voices to help the world understand there is a problem in East African region. Because these guys who are taking us vice versa, apparently, they have not done their best.
Understand.
Gen Z, when they came up, Ruto the panties and what is things shaken.
Always, I'll just inject something before you proceed. Always, when we go to this platform, I think there's so many words we speak, which are drumming for youth prosperity. And I always when I'm in media, I always say, I always serve and pray for the youth interest. That's me and you. And it affects us always, as just what we are saying. And we need to look it beyond the horizon.
Okay. I can't understand where we are heading. Those are watching us, what do you learn from this war? Do Ugandans really appreciate what is taking place? Are we learning something, or we are just listening and let things go like that? Because it should be a line of interest for everybody to be interested. I still believe that this war, it may not be very targeting the Congolese. It may be targeting East Africa at large. Because it's brother and brother wars are fighting. If it be Nigerian, that one would say there's a problem. But Congo, Uganda, Rwanda, where you can just call my friend, hey, things are not better. But even who initiated this war? What was the interest of starting things of that kind? People are talking about M23, M23. Have you heard about M23?
M23 might be green to me, but you will let me at the end of this. We come up with some strategical understanding to know.
Okay, M23. It is claimed that they're the terrorists, they're the rebels, and some of Ugandans, key figures, they're saying M23, they're our brothers.
I get you. Just when you use that word, you could use it better to equate like rebels. There is some set of high intelligent group of troops put aside. I will not disclaim Uganda because
because we also just heard.
Yeah, we just heard because we may say maybe alleged allegation, as the lawyers always put it. But and it's there. It might be true, but not sure.
Okay. So that's how we've summarized Congo, and we pray that we have to do something to stop this war and to advise the entire East African tycoons. Please, we need peace talks into this. But otherwise, and it is now that in East Africa, Congo is the richest country. Are they fighting for wealth from Congo?
Over the decades, I think when we are starting, I mentioned three things. This thing has been there, and it was being triggered by three major issues. As I said, ethnicity, corruption, and the presence of natural resources. I think this has been the core. Those three major things. And you remember what happened in Kabila. Sometimes elections were failed to not happen. Some people clear we not have election. Why? Because that's why I'm talking about the issue like a politics. Other people believe the Kabilas, the Rolland ideologies, and what was brought by his former was not taking Congo to the direction. They were biased to the locals. And some people were objecting this, and the other two people, when the election were organized, you know what happened? It was organized after 2 years. It was pushed. Why was it being pushed?
They didn't for run. Yeah.
It was being pushed. Because some of the Congolese believe their only interests are being served with the Kabila's cocoon. And if it will go out of hand, now you know what will happen.
Is this was being sponsored by fellow African people? Is it sponsored by Europeans? I can't even tell.
I will not be in the front line of being echoing some of the allegation which might end me.
No, we're just trying to stipulate. We're just talking about. We need to understand to the entire world. Is this war being sponsored by you, East African brothers and sisters, or it is being sponsored by judges around the grandpas outside this country? So I don't know. It is for those who are listening and watching us that they have to take action. Using their observations. Okay, let's go to point 2 of the day. East African, they have these elections of AU elections.
Africa, it is African stuff, African affair. We are coming up with a new chairperson who is going to be the apex leader of the entire Africa. Will serve the interests of Africa. Will tell us what is going to be about the security of Africa. Will tell us where is it taking Africa. Are we going to come up with one president for Africa? Those are the things. The Right Honorable, the one and only, I will always term him enigma. Do you know what I mean by enigma? Something is very, very, very vital. That is none other than the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. I think he has traversed Africa from South Africa, Ghana, Egypt, everywhere. I think it is the high time that we are making Africa be great again. For those who are versed with the history, you know what has been happening. I think it is high time we bless Baba. We always call Baba. Some people might not understand what I mean by Baba. Somebody is high level, and is serving the interest of people. He has been there for people at the lowest moment. Somebody has been jailed for some time back, fighting for the freedom of the people. Yes.
Okay.
And they brought up what we call under Article 39 of the Kenyan Constitution, the freedom fighter, freedom of movement. It was initiated in our Kenyan Constitution, that is the 2010 amended Constitution. It is geared to be very oft contested. Its rivalries, that is Mohamed Ali, who come from Djibouti, always believe that he will capture the Central Africa votes. And the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, who has been serving African also as the High Representative for Infrastructure Development. Remember, during his tenure, he did some good job. And now we are trusting him in this high post. It's not a post for Kenya. It's a post for East Africa, post for Central Africa, post for Africans, we Africans. I think election will commence by 15th, 16th
of this weekend.
This week is already in Addis Ababa. I think he left after 2 days after the special prayer was conducted in Nairobi, and we all put our hand across. May the good Lord always remember Baba and his candidate to be the next AU chairperson. And I think
you're campaigning for Baba.
No. I'm just. But okay, it is my legitimate right also to campaign.
Okay,
if
it's very okay.
Muse did it here. You remember when Baba came and he met Ruto? They were looking some animal somewhere. We were cooking something. So it is our candidature, and we have a strong belief in it.
Is for
Africa, not because now it is.
It's for Africa.
For Africa.
This gentleman of Djibouti also, we wish him the best as well. Whoever is coming, we have to support them.
We all clear whoever will emerge victorious.
For me, if Baba comes, I want him to stop some few things in the East African community. That one, the moment you win, my hands will be off.
Okay.
Yeah. So, as you're coming to an end of today's program, it's in Uganda you've had what we call by-elections.
Some by-election is going for Kawempe.
Yeah.
Kawempe
North.
Kawempe North. I'm not versed with it, but back I was going through the papers. I could read most of my friends who have been in the front line in the loop. many people, many young, energetic Gen Z
Of Uganda.
were allying their interest to serve the people of Kawempe North, which I like. That was a very free, democratic right to express yourself. But what I would like to move to do, they have come up with a candidate who will represent the face of Uganda and face of the Kawempe people. And I don't know, it's a strategy that my fear is I don't know whether it will be free and fair. Most of the election, I saw a lot of fighting, camping, a lot of votes not being counted, people are tear. But I hope this time around we are growing, and our system also are changing every now and then. I'm thinking also that the NRM candidates, whoever, I don't know his name, I forgot his name, will accept, whoever will be beaten will accept. But let it be peaceful by election, which will act as an edged route map for the 2026, because I think by next year we have an election, and everybody is eyeing this to be a very free and fair election.
Okay.
And most of the time I will caution the youths, it is going to happen, and now somewhere some people are sitting. Youth, we were always being used. I would like to tell youths to refrain from this influence where somebody will come, pay some token, and you take the street to start writing with what you don't know what you are writing for what. Let's be vigilant, maintain peace, and especially the Kawempe North people who are entrusting that they get better representative to represent the parliament of Uganda.
But now, even if we get the best candidate, the parliament itself, it is corrupted. If it is a virus, it has entered everybody. And we send these people with the felt trusting, this person is going to do for us the best. But at the end of the day, we end up suffering. So, in my personal view, after seeing over 11 candidates standing under noob, what came in your mind?
I asked myself so many questions. Then I said, is somebody behind this to neutralize the stronghold of noob? Because if I saw 11 candidates, which I never expect. I only expected like 2 candidates. Then they go for a nomination. They come up with a candidate. But I saw 11. But what was going behind the bar is that some were being influenced or sponsored by the ruling party. Which I will say alleged allegation. Don't take me to the Supreme or ICC, Netherlands.
Mother Karwa is there.
Karwa, you know what happened in the Karwa.
Universities.
Yeah, and the case is still on, and see,
So
we are struggling with legitimacy. We don't know what they have.
That was very true.
Yes.
So, thereafter, comrades and colleagues, for today, maybe you may allow us and end our show from here, but we'd like it to be having Mr. Felix Kajangwa still within us, has visited us, and anyway, you may also pose and answer some questions of your interest. What is that you want from Mr. Felix Kajangwa? What you'd love to hear from him? What is that you think he has missed out? We wish you a very lovely day, a very good afternoon, everyone. See you when you see us next time. Stay well and stay cool. You may also say bye to our people in our local language.
Basebo.
Nebanyabo.
Nabanyabo.
Yes, sir.
I think it has been a very interesting interview.
Now you've gone back to English.
Very well, Sebo. I wish you the best, and
Okay.
I think as we end this show today, or this live interview, I want us to always pray for the East Africa community at large.
Yeah.
Let's pray for Congo. And I think at times some things are beyond the human being, but when we pray, God always gives us intervention. God intervene and make sure whatever human think is not possible, with God everything possible. Asanteni sana. Let's meet next time.
Okay, asanteni sana. Let me speak in your language now. Asanteni sana. kila mtu yote amekuja hapo coach kwa program zetu. Maongea mingi mambo vingi ya East Africa. So Mungu abarikie, tuonane si jioni, si kesho.
Tutaonana. I'll be leaving to Addis Ababa. As I told you, we have a very serious duty for the Africa. I'm one of the chief agent of the Right Honorable. I'll be flying to Addis Ababa. After that, we shall have another interview.
By God's grace.
By God's grace.
All the best. See you, friends. Bye bye, everyone. See you.
Asante.